Two MLU insiders, bringing you hard analysis of everything that happens on the field. This is the John and Greg Show.
And now we welcome New York Rumble GM Michelle Kondracki to the show. Thanks
Hello.
for joining the John and Greg Show this morning.
No problem.
And thanks for having us out at this wonderful tryout at a reasonable hour.
It's the warmest it's ever been. So.
Yeah. And we're still bundled up, right? Let's talk about that for a second, because we talked earlier about how each city kind of has a different flavor for their tryouts. And you guys always like to put guys through the ringer in the toughest conditions possible. Snow, outdoor in the winter, rain, that wind tunnel we were in last year. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, for one, I think it weeds out a lot of the people who would just show up to see if they can just hang with the guys. It really brings out who wants to really be here. And, you know, on the other end, logistically, there isn't really much of a choice. Yeah. There are almost no indoor fields in the New York area that are accessible by public transportation. There's actually a really cool one in Connecticut. It's 100 yards, a full football field. Oh, wow. It costs about $1,000 an hour. So between those two things, I think we're going to have outdoor tryouts for a while. But we had them earlier this year. February is the coldest month of the year, so at least we avoided that. Yeah,
that's I remember those.
So how about the decision to have them earlier? Is that just a logistics weather thing, or is that also to start building that team chemistry earlier?
It actually had almost nothing to do with the weather. It was mainly team chemistry. You probably saw last year the chemistry just wasn't there in the beginning. I think for our first game, a lot of people didn't really even know each other on the field yet, which takes a little bit of time to find. So that's why we decided to have them earlier, get some practices in earlier.
Yeah, we talked with Joe Anderson just a few minutes ago about, last year was really a disappointing disaster season on the field for you guys. So much hype, so many big-name players coming in, and just not really any results on the field, aside from probably, we would agree, one game. You guys looked like the team we were supposed to be. What is the plan this year to retool, reload, rebuild, or just to get you guys back to winning ways?
Right. So the first thing, obviously, having earlier tryouts, building chemistry earlier. Also, seeing who fits into the team, not just who's the most talented out there, but who plays well together, who works well together on the field, even just personalities meshing together. Those are all different things that we're looking for.
Does part of that come from looking down in D.C., where most of those guys have played together in other areas, and that cohesion kind of leading them to a championship? Is that try something that you're trying to bounce off of?
I don't think we never necessarily looked at DC, but just looked at it in the aspect of none of these guys know each other, and never played with each other. That's something we need to fix.
And you guys have a unique challenge up here in New York with, a lot of guys up here are not really car people, which is something we talked about.
That's something I've just gotten used to recently.
Getting guys together is a difficult thing.
Yes.
So is that more also motivation for earlier tryouts, to have more opportunities to get these guys on the same field with each other?
Yep, definitely. I can tell you that I took a ferry, a taxi, I walked, took a bus, and a subway just to get here today. We don't have any cars, and it definitely helps to start things earlier to get more reps in.
Miraculously, I took less modes of transportation
to get here from Philly.
To get there from Philadelphia.
We talked earlier to Joe also about how... What was I going to say? What did we talk to him about?
I'm not in your head. We talked to Joe about a lot of things. If you can't get what I got. Yeah. So we asked Smash about what his silver lining from last season was, and what how that gave him motivation to come into the 2015 season. For you, what was your silver lining?
Silver lining, maybe all we can do is go up, right?
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
We talked about Smash and how people have finally started taking notice of how good he is defensively. What does it mean to have a character guy like that on the squad?
Smash has definitely been instrumental to the team both years. I think the first year, the reason why people didn't notice him is because he just shuts down his guys. He wasn't the flashy player that would lay out bid constantly for, maybe to get it half the time. He was just that guy. His guy would never get the disc. He's also a great leader, so we've loved having him on the team, and hopefully he'll be coming back this year.
I remember my question. We talked to Smash about how there seemed to be a commitment and consistency issue last year with, you guys seem to throw out a different roster every game, and sometimes even just 15 guys or something like that. Is there an increased focus on attendance and commitment, and guys being all in or all out this year?
Definitely. One thing we're actually doing at a tryout to be in the future is we're interviewing players. So making sure the commitment level is there, because sometimes people want to be committed, but if they have a baby or they have a ton of weddings, they just can't be. And then on top of that, it will help to I lost my train of thought there. But,
to have guys on the same page.
Yeah, exactly.
So you'd rather have a team of guys who are all there rather than a team of maybe better players that are not always going to be at the game or can make every practice or something like that.
Another issue we had with commitment was just injuries. So we're working on that a little bit this year. We did like a little nutrition seminar for the players. We're going to see if we can get some strength workouts, just making sure that they're the healthiest they can possibly be going into the season.
Because it is a challenge, right? Like being able to get yourself into shape for tryouts in the dead of winter is really tough. But even by the start of the season, it's hard to get that energy going.
Yep.
It sounds like from talking to you and Joe, it sounds like you guys are talking about a culture shift, really.
We are.
A new New York Rumble team this year. I'm excited to see
you guys will see more of that in the future.
Yeah.
I don't want to give anything away, but
let's move into a subject that maybe you're a little bit more directly involved with, which is the game day experience for fans.
Okay.
What can we expect this year new from you guys to make it more fun for the fans to come out?
I think we'll definitely have more opportunities and options out there for them. Our location made it a little bit more difficult last year. We haven't settled on anything yet this year, but whatever we do settle on, it'll be easier to get to. There'll be, hopefully, we can have, tailgating, things like that, just to make the fan experience a Rumble game. It's not just an Ultimate Frisbee game, it's more of the experience that you're going for as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love to hear that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I know that down in Philadelphia's tried like a few places, and I think that St. Joe's as a area just that allowed for there. Just that camaraderie before the game.
Food, drink, and tailgating.
So
obviously New York's a bit of a different animal because the city is so
no cars.
Yeah, no cars. The city is so tight.
I'm always flabbergasted just like walking around New York. Man, how do people like do that every day? I'm so tired. I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah,
and I just
definitely.
that's from getting up and coming here. That's
right.
all.
Yeah.
People are generally pretty fit in New York, and that's probably part of the reason. I mean, I think I walk like a mile to work even after I get off the subway. So
that's impressive.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we can build a stadium like in Times Square or something.
That would be awesome. That'd be a lot of fun.
Or just play in Times Square.
Yeah.
Just clear out the streets.
Yeah.
So I guess last question, any surprises or hints or little things you want to drop with us before we let you go?
I'm going to leave you guys just,
just leave us hanging. All right.
Yep. You'll find out
no
more
hints,
in February.
No all right. I like the sound of that.
Yeah,
Can't
we're
wait for
looking forward
February.
to it.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
coming
so
on the
much,
show.
Sean.